Okay, finishing touches part two. I think, spoiler alert, this is the very last session. So I'll give some stats at the very end. Hopefully that turns out to be true because I'm planning on doing a test drive tomorrow or the day after. So we'll see if you don't see another upload about a build, then I'm done. Otherwise, I guess I'll be back. But if I do a drive, I will post a video with a drive. Anyway, so for this session, it was actually two separate sessions on the same day. The first session, I installed the seats and then took the car off the jack stands. Um, if you remember correctly, my passenger rail, I had sheared off one of the nut-serts. So I've installed it with three, two on the inside rail and one on the outside rail. I'm waiting for the replacement outside rail to come in, and then I can fix that one up. For the driver's one, I just installed it. I put some Loc-Tite on the bolts, pretty straightforward. And then I took the car off the stands. On the I also torqued the wheels after the car was on the ground. In the second session, what I did was I checked the ride height. I saw on a blog that was recommended to me by my dealer that you they started with the car at 150 millimeters off of the floor in the front, and you measure it by the chassis bar where the dry sump is attached. And this is with a person sitting in it. Um, I don't think I have to be too precise. Oh, and then for the rear, you do 15 millimeters higher. So that would be 165 millimeters in the rear and 150 millimeters in the front. I didn't think I had to be that precise. The other recommendation that the blog said was maybe you can start a little bit higher, which is 195 or sorry, 190 millimeters in the front and 205 millimeters in the rear. Again, 15 millimeters higher in the rear than the front, in the rear than the front. So I came out and I checked what the height was. During the build, I was actually very particular about making sure the suspension was level, and turned out it kind of paid off. The left and right side were level, both in the front and the back. The rear was almost exactly 205 millimeters, which was the slightly higher ride height that the blog recommended. So I checked the front, it was 195 millimeters in the front, a little bit higher than the 190 that the blog recommended, but I think that's fine. I'll probably get it professionally aligned, and so maybe I'll redo the ride height then. But as far as test driving and just getting started driving, I don't think I had to be that precise. As long as the left and right were level. This is without me sitting in the car, I should note. So once I sit in, I'll probably be slightly unlevel, but I think that's okay for now. I also installed the windscreen and aero bracket. So my aero screen came in, and instead of having to undo all the nuts and bolts and tighten it on both sides each time, it came with these brackets that you can install where you just undo the outside cap head screws, and then you can switch the windscreen and the aero screen. I didn't switch to the aero screen. I'm gonna stick with the windscreen for now, but I did switch out the bracket so that when I do want to switch, it should just be a 5-minute job. From the last session, remember my coolant level issue. I just ran the car again, paying attention to the coolant level. I didn't have to add more coolant. I didn't have to siphon more coolant. It worked out fine this time. And then the rest of the night was just sort of spraying down the car, wiping down the car, and then doing some spraying some ceramic onto the car and sort of protecting it a little bit. And then I installed the bonnet and the nose, and then I installed the Caterham stickers. Um, I had originally planned, so I bought some PPF that's cut exactly for the Caterhams from the UK. That came in, however, when I opened it, there was nothing in it besides the instructions and a squeegee and a little microfiber. I think what happened was customs must have taken it. Not really sure what happened there. So the vendor is actually sending me a new one. So whenever that comes in, I will be installing that. Um, but that's, I think, all I have to do for the car. So I'm gonna do a test drive hopefully soon and hope that the car works properly and I don't get stranded outside because of something dumb I forgot. But when I do that, I will post a video. So to give some build stats, I received my kit in November of 2024 from the shipper. I didn't start building it until January 6th of 2025. I finished installing it, or I finished building it on August 20th. So basically 8.5 months, 107 hours. Then I realized my clutch issue. I had to disassemble it. So disassembly took 12 hours and reassembly took 24 hours. So the total build time was 143 hours. Um, that's not terrible. The 107 hours from like starting the kit to finishing the first build, if you don't have any problems, I think it's not terrible either. Um, that said, none of this time includes like research time I did outside of the garage. This is just straight garage time. Um, So, interesting tidbit, 143 hours total, or 107 hours if I didn't have the issue. That said, I got pretty good at taking the engine out and reinstalling it. So I think I've gained some knowledge and skill through this process, and it's been fun, uh, but sometimes a little bit frustrating, especially the clutch issue at the end there. But hopefully, if anything happens with the car, I will know how to fix it. And the maintenance, I will also know how to maintain it well. So hopefully my test drive will be smooth, and thank you for following my build.